Here's a look at division using the scaffolding algorithm, building my scaffold over here. This is really good for kids that don't quite 100% have hold of all the multiplication facts yet, so they're not necessarily quite sure how many times, say, 8 might go into 19. We're going to start like we would the standard algorithm and say, how many times will 8 go into 19? Well, I'm not really sure. I know whatever I do, I'm going to have zeros out here at the end. I know 8 is less than 19, so I'm just going to try 800. 800 is 8 times 100. Then I'm going to subtract. And, if you look at that and say, well, I could do 200 because that'll be 1600 and that's still less than 1935, that's great. It works just fine if you can see a couple of steps ahead, but it also works just fine if you can't. So that's still bigger than 800, so I can subtract another 800 from that. Just got to keep track over here on the scaffold of how much I'm subtracting. So this is really division as subtraction. This is 335. Well, I can't subtract 800 again because 335 isn't big enough. So now I'm down to tens. Well, let's see. 8 times 10 is 80. 300 is a lot more than 80. So maybe I'm going to try 8 times 20 is 160. And if you see right off that 8 times 40 is going to work, that's totally fine. It works, still works. I'm going to subtract, and I got 5, let's see, 175. Oh, well, I can subtract 160 again because 175 is bigger than 160. So that's another 20. When I subtract that, I have 15. Well, 8 times 2 is 16, but that's too much. So I'm only going to be able to fit one more 8 in there. This is really good if you keep your columns nice and lined up. Oh, maybe I'll leave room for my 8 that I'm subtracting. 7, well, that's less than the thing that I'm dividing by. That's less than 8. So that tells me I'm done, and that's going to be my remainder. Last thing to do here, no, this is an accident, is I'm going to add 100, 200, 240, 241 with a remainder of 7. And that's my scaffolding algorithm.